Imagine stepping into a bustling diner where the clatter of dishes, the murmur of lively conversation, and the inviting aroma of fresh coffee mask a hidden storm of tension and neglect. What if you discovered that beneath the surface, a crisis was unfolding among the very people who make this place a community sanctuary? Would you remain silent or stand up for what's right? Comment 1 if you believe in bold action, or 2 if you feel that patience is the key. And let us know, where are you watching from? Welcome to Motivation for Success, the channel where inspiring stories of resilience and heartfelt leadership remind us that every act of compassion can change lives. In a world where every detail matters, few could have imagined that a small chain of diners, built with passion and perseverance, would face a silent crisis. At the helm of this enterprise was none other than the legendary Keanu Reeves. Yes, beyond the bright lights of Hollywood, Keanu Reeves had embarked on a journey to create spaces where every customer was treated like family. Over the last decade, his diner chain, simply known as Central Diner, had blossomed into a cherished haven in local communities, a warm refuge where every meal was served with care and every smile was meant to reassure. Yet lately, as the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sizzle of frying patties and the soft hum of conversation, unsettling murmurs began to ripple through the diners. Complaints of sluggish service, curt responses, and a palpable air of exhaustion among the staff started to emerge. Although his regional managers insisted that everything was fine, Keanu's intuition screamed that something was amiss. Behind those carefully curated smiles lay an untold story, a story of overburdened workers and a culture losing its heartbeat. Determined to uncover the truth and revive the genuine care he had envisioned when launching his dream, Keanu resolved to go undercover. No elaborate costume or flashy disguise was needed, he opted for a modest transformation. A bit of scruff softened his familiar features, a well-worn hoodie replaced his signature tailored attire, and a pair of thick-rimmed glasses discreetly concealed his star quality. Keanu was ready to experience Central Diner as any regular patron would, and what he was about to witness would change everything. It was a brisk, overcast afternoon when Keanu Reeves strolled into one of the suburban Central Diner locations. The diner was alive with a symphony of sounds, the gentle clink of cutlery against plates, the low hum of conversation, and occasional bursts of laughter that filled the room with an almost deceptive warmth. The interior, though meticulously maintained, bore the quiet testimony of time, faded wallpaper, vinyl booths with slightly worn edges, and chairs that creaked under the weight of countless stories. Yet, as Keanu scanned the scene, a subtle discord tugged at his heart. At the entrance, a young waitress named Marissa greeted him with a polite smile that did little to mask the deep fatigue in her eyes. Her uniform, once crisp and full of promise, now hung loosely as if burdened by endless shifts. The sharp scent of citrus hand sanitizer intermingled with the rich, inviting smell of freshly ground coffee. As Marissa led him to a booth by the window, Keanu noticed a slight tremor in her hands, a fragile hint of exhaustion and perhaps, unspoken distress. "Good afternoon. Can I start you off with something to drink?" Marissa asked, her tone soft yet tinged with uncertainty. Her smile, though kind, faltered for a split second before resuming its routine. "Just a coffee, please," Keanu replied, settling into the booth. As he took a slow sip of the hot beverage, he absorbed every detail around him, the rhythmic hum of the refrigerator in the back, the murmur of customers engaged in conversation, and the sound of footsteps, each one echoing the hurried cadence of someone trying to keep pace with an overwhelming day. But just as the comforting clinks and murmurs painted a picture of everyday life, the atmosphere shifted. Out of nowhere, a sudden, sharp command erupted from the kitchen. A booming voice, heavy with authority and disdain, sliced through the ambient sounds, "Hurry up, we're losing time here." The command belonged to Marcus, the shift manager, whose presence seemed to cast an imposing shadow over the otherwise welcoming space. His words, delivered with an abrasive edge, made Marissa's smile waver as she hurried back with Keanu's order. Keanu's eyes narrowed as he listened, not merely to the words, but to the tone laden with impatience and disregard. In that moment, the diner transformed before his eyes, the forced cheer of the customers, the strained smiles of the staff, and a barely perceptible whimper coming from behind a closed kitchen door all painted a picture of silent suffering. Keanu sat, the bittersweet flavor of his coffee mingling with a growing sense of disappointment and resolve. Then, amidst the steady hum of the diner, he caught a soft, almost imperceptible sound, a quiet sobbing that seemed to seep from behind the kitchen's heavy door. Leaning in, he strained his ears until he could make out the fragile words, "I'm trying my best. I haven't had a break in 6 hours." The vulnerability in that statement struck him like a lightning bolt, igniting within him a fierce determination to act. Unable to sit idly by, Keanu rose from his booth, leaving behind his half-finished burger and the pretense of detachment. With measured, deliberate steps, he moved toward the kitchen. The closer he got, the more intense the sensory details became, the metallic clang of pots, the urgent shouts of orders, and the pungent aroma of sizzling food mingled with the underlying tension of a space pushed to its limits. In the midst of this controlled chaos, he saw Marissa again, her eyes glistening with unshed tears as she tried to meet Marcus's relentless gaze. "Enough!" Keanu's voice rang out, cutting through the cacophony like a beacon of calm yet unyielding authority. The bustling kitchen fell into a stunned silence. Marcus turned sharply, his eyes narrowing as he faced this unexpected interloper. "Who are you to interfere?" Marcus snapped, his tone defensive yet betraying a hint of uncertainty. Without a moment's hesitation, Keanu replied, his voice steady and resolute, "I'm Keanu Reeves." In that instant, the familiar glimmer of authority shone in his eyes. With a deliberate motion, he produced his company ID, a simple emblem of the values upon which Central Diner had been built. "I built these diners to be sanctuaries of warmth and respect, places where every individual is valued. If you cannot treat our team with the dignity they deserve, then you have no place here." A heavy silence enveloped the kitchen. Marcus's confident facade faltered, and for a moment, the harsh lighting and clatter of utensils seemed to pause. Among the staff, a young cook named Taylor, who had been standing silently in the corner, looked up. His eyes, filled with a mix of fear and a spark of hope, met Keanu's in a silent acknowledgement of change. Returning to the dining area, Keanu moved with purpose yet with the gentleness of someone who truly cared. He beckoned Marissa and Taylor over to a quiet corner table, away from the clamor of the busy diner. The light in his eyes was soft and compassionate, yet his voice resonated with a determined calm that cut through the everyday noise. "I know things have been tough here," he began, his tone tender yet unwavering, "and I want you both to know that you are the backbone of this place. I'm here to make things right." Marissa's eyes, still glistening with unshed tears, locked with his as if searching for the promise of a better tomorrow. In that charged moment, a fragile spark of hope rekindled deep within her, battling the exhaustion and fear that had long clouded her days. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice wavering on the edge of relief and lingering uncertainty, each syllable laden with the weight of past struggles and the promise of future care. Around them, the diner seemed to pause in reverence to this quiet exchange. The afternoon sun, now low in the sky, stretched long, soft shadows across the worn vinyl booths and the checkered floor. The gentle hum of conversation softened, as if the world itself was leaning in to listen to the heartfelt dialogue unfolding in that secluded corner. Outside, the sky hinted at change with the subtle scent of rain mingling with the lingering aroma of the day's meals, a poignant reminder that transformation often comes hand in hand with renewal. As the hours slipped by, Keanu found himself alone in his favorite booth, a small haven that overlooked the ebb and flow of daily life at Central Diner. The cool air that drifted in carried with it the delicate fragrance of impending rain, wrapping around him like a whispered promise of a fresh start. In that solitary, reflective moment, every sound, the soft clink of cutlery, the distant murmur of the remaining customers, even the rhythmic ticking of the wall clock, seemed to blend into a symphony of hope and resolve. He closed his eyes briefly, allowing the sensory tapestry of the diner to wash over him. In the quiet solitude, his heart swelled with a deep, unwavering commitment. He made a solemn promise to himself and to every hard-working soul laboring behind the scenes. He would restore Central Diner to its original vision, a beacon of community, care, and unwavering respect. This was not merely about fixing a broken system or patching up tired smiles, it was about rekindling the spirit of a place where every person, regardless of their role, was valued and cherished. The promise felt almost sacred in that hushed moment, a personal vow etched into the very fabric of his being. He envisioned a future where every weary worker found solace in genuine appreciation, where the clamor of daily service was accompanied by laughter and encouragement rather than sharp commands and heavy hearts. In his mind's eye, he saw a transformed diner where the aroma of fresh coffee symbolized not just a daily ritual but a renewed commitment to warmth and kindness, and where every shadow cast by the fading light held the promise of a brighter day ahead. Deep within, Keanu understood that true change begins with empathy, by listening to the silent cries of those in need and responding with heartfelt action. His resolve grew stronger with every passing moment, fueled by the knowledge that each person working at Central Diner deserved to feel valued. And so, as the diner's lights softened with the approaching evening, his promise took on an almost palpable energy, a vow that every day from that moment forward, he would strive to rebuild not just a business, but a sanctuary where compassion reigned and every individual could shine. In that profound silence, amidst the blend of fading sunlight and the cool whisper of nightfall, Keanu's heart echoed with a simple truth: caring for others is the cornerstone of true leadership, and in that care lies the power to transform not just a diner, but entire lives. The very next morning, long before the hustle and bustle of the lunch rush, Keanu returned, not as a covert observer, but as a dedicated leader determined to implement lasting change. The early light filtered softly through the diner's windows, casting gentle patterns on the time-worn floorboards and highlighting every imperfection as a reminder of both the diner's history and its potential for renewal. It was in this serene moment that Keanu sought out Marissa and Taylor once again, inviting them to join him in a quiet corner away from the early crowd. "Good morning," Keanu began, his voice as warm and inviting as the sunrise outside. "I want to hear from you. How have things really been?" His tone was gentle, more a call for conversation than a confrontation. Marissa hesitated, glancing around at the few early customers who had drifted in. "It's been overwhelming," she admitted softly. "We're constantly short-staffed, and when it gets busy, I barely have a moment to breathe." Taylor, his hands still dusted with the remnants of the morning's prep, nodded in agreement. "I've thought about leaving more than once," he confessed quietly. "But I care about our customers, and about everyone here. Sometimes, it feels like our efforts are invisible." Keanu listened intently, his eyes reflecting genuine concern and empathy. "I built this diner chain on the promise of community and care," he said earnestly. "Starting today, that promise is my top priority. I have concrete plans to bring in a new manager, someone who leads with empathy, not fear. We're going to hire additional staff so that none of you ever have to bear the burden of exhaustion alone. And most importantly, every one of you will be recognized and rewarded for the dedication you bring to every shift." As he spoke, the morning light seemed to wrap the diner in a warm embrace, as if nature itself was affirming the change about to sweep through Central Diner. Marissa's tense expression softened into a cautious smile, and Taylor's eyes, once dull with fatigue, shone with renewed determination and gratitude. Over the ensuing weeks, the transformation at Central Diner was nothing short of extraordinary. Keanu made it his mission to spend time with every member of the team, observing, listening, and even rolling up his sleeves to work alongside them. The atmosphere began to shift perceptibly, evolving from an undercurrent of despair into one of collaboration, energy, and genuine care. In the kitchen, the once harsh commands gave way to constructive guidance. Marcus, who had once ruled with a heavy hand, was replaced by a new manager renowned for her compassionate leadership. The clatter of pots and pans was now accompanied by bursts of laughter and shared moments of camaraderie. The scent of freshly baked bread and robust coffee filled the air, transforming the diner into a place that not only served meals but also nourished the spirit. One particularly memorable afternoon, as the lunch service reached its peak, Marissa approached Keanu while carefully refilling a customer's coffee. Her movements, though still precise, now carried an air of calm determination. "This place, it feels different now," she said quietly, her eyes locking with his in a moment of shared understanding. "It finally feels like it matters." Keanu's response was measured and heartfelt. "It does matter, Marissa, and so do you," he replied simply. His words resonated deeply with everyone within earshot. In that moment it was clear that Central Diner was no longer merely a place to grab a quick meal, it had transformed into a community built on trust, respect, and the belief that every individual's well-being was paramount. Customers began to notice the difference immediately. The service was not only faster but delivered with genuine smiles. Regular patrons returned not just for the food, but for the sense of belonging that radiated from every corner of the diner. New hires arrived with fresh energy, and the team, once burdened by exhaustion, now thrived under an environment that valued their contributions. In the weeks that followed, Keanu's journey from undercover observer to transformative leader became a beacon of hope and inspiration not just for his staff but for the community at large. One crisp evening, after the last customer had departed and the diner's lights dimmed to a soft glow, Keanu gathered his team for a final conversation. The overhead lights cast gentle shadows on the table, and the quiet murmur of the night outside provided a soothing backdrop to what was to be an intimate gathering. "I want to share something with all of you," Keanu began, his voice calm yet brimming with conviction. "Our success isn't measured by the profits we make or by the number of locations we open. It's measured by the respect we show one another, the care we extend to our customers, and the community we build together. Every one of you is essential to this vision, and I promise that moving forward, we will never lose sight of that." Marissa's eyes shimmered with tears unshed as she listened, and Taylor's steady gaze reflected hope and renewed determination. In that room, vulnerability and honesty mingled, creating a space where every individual felt seen, heard, and valued. The lesson was clear: when we lead with empathy, we empower others to rise above their circumstances. We transform challenges into opportunities for growth, and we learn that sometimes the bravest act is simply to care. As our story draws to a close, let it serve as a powerful reminder that the journey of Central Diner is not merely about transforming a business, it is a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. Keanu Reeves, known the world over for his cinematic brilliance, has shown us that true greatness does not lie in fame or fortune, but in the courage to stand up for what is right and to care for those who have been overlooked. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, has the power to ignite change. Whether you're a leader in your community, a manager in your workplace, or simply someone who believes that compassion is the key to a better world, know that your actions can transform lives. Reflect on your own leadership and think about the ways in which you can extend care and respect to those around you. Now, I invite you to share your thoughts. What does true leadership mean to you? Have you ever witnessed a moment when compassion triumphed over adversity? Comment 1 if you believe that leadership is about caring for every person, or 2 if you feel that small acts of kindness can change the world. And don't forget to tell us where you're watching from. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to Motivation for Success for more uplifting stories that challenge us to think, act, and lead with heart. Together, we can build a community that values respect, empathy, and the belief that every life matters. In Keanu Reeves' remarkable journey from celebrated actor to compassionate CEO, we uncover a profound truth: real success is not measured by accolades or financial gain, but by the positive impact we have on the lives around us. When we lead with empathy and integrity, we create spaces where every individual feels valued. When we treat our colleagues and customers with the respect they deserve, we empower them to flourish. And when we listen to the quiet voices that speak out in moments of vulnerability, we unlock the potential for true, transformative change. Let this be a call to action. Reflect on how you lead, care, and connect with others. Whether you're at the helm of a business or part of a close-knit team, remember that every gesture of kindness contributes to a larger tapestry of hope and resilience. Your actions, no matter how seemingly small, have the power to transform not just one life, but entire communities. As the lights dim on our story today, let the message resonate: when compassion guides our actions, every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every struggle transforms into a triumph. Leadership is not about standing above others, it's about standing together. So, take a moment to reflect, share your thoughts in the comments below, and join us in building a better world, one caring act at a time. Remember, within every heart lies the power to make a difference. Stay inspired, take action, and never forget that your choices can change lives. Welcome once again to Motivation for Success. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we eagerly await your stories and reflections. May you carry forward this message of hope, empathy, and transformative leadership into every corner of your life. In the quiet moments that follow the rush of a busy day, when the diner is left with only the soft hum of a refrigerator and the fading echoes of conversation, the true spirit of Central Diner lingers. It is in these moments that the legacy of Keanu Reeves' commitment to care is felt most profoundly, not in grand gestures, but in the everyday acts of kindness and respect shared between people. Every conversation, every smile, every gesture of understanding contributes to a legacy that transcends the walls of any establishment. The transformation of Central Diner is a living testament to the fact that leadership is not defined by power, but by compassion. It is a reminder that when we dare to listen, to empathize, and to act with integrity, we have the power to change the world around us. So, as you leave this story behind, carry with you the knowledge that true leadership lies in the simple act of caring. Let every interaction be guided by empathy, every decision be touched by compassion, and every day be an opportunity to build a community where every life matters. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Stay motivated, stay compassionate, and remember, your leadership, your empathy, and your commitment to making a difference can light the way for others. Together, we can create a brighter, more caring future, one small, meaningful act at a time. Motivation for Success invites you to reflect on this story and consider how you might embody the spirit of compassionate leadership in your own life. Every time you choose to listen, to care, and to act with kindness, you add to a growing legacy of hope and resilience. Your journey matters, and every step you take to uplift others contributes to a world where every challenge can become a triumph. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to hear your stories.